Welcome to Aries, to all you Aries people, or people who have an ascendant in Aries or sun sign in Aries, or even maybe other personal planets like Venus or Mars in Aries, or a little stallion there, with more than 3 planets in Aries. Now, this is your yearly horoscope for 2015, and what will that bring you, you Aries people? Well, you are a cardinal sign, and the Uranus-Pluto square will still be significant especially for some of you, and I'll mention in a minute for who, because this square between Pluto and Uranus will be exact for the last time in March. And that will be at 15 degrees. So, for those of you who are born in March, around, will it be March? No, it will be April already. Around, let's say, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th of April, those will feel that energy the most. But even just if you are an Aries, you will feel that. And that's the Pluto-Uranus square. So, I see a lot of Aries people who are now really seeing the benefits of the Uranus-Pluto square, which is quite demanding, you could say, because this planet Uranus in your sign, squaring up to Pluto in the highest place of your horoscope, which is Pluto in Capricorn, it makes people more authentic. It makes people more fulfilling their potential. Now, Aries is already a sign that's very courageous. So even if you only have 1 planet in Aries, it adds to the courageousness of your personality. So this Pluto-Uranus square, which is demanding because it means that you can't put things under the table anymore, you need to face it. I think Aries is a sign that of all the cardinal signs, so Libra, Capricorn, your sign, and Cancer, is dealing actually very strong with this. The downside is the impatience. So Aries people are very impatient, and so they think that they need to grow and they need to go to the new, but there's still this old person and in them. And so that's more their challenge, to go slowly but surely instead of just impulsively throwing everything all the way. No, it's keeping what is good, but indeed detaching yourself from what is not good anymore in your life. This is the Uranus in your sign. And when people in general have waited way too long in order to act, then you've got a transit like Uranus-Pluto square, for instance, because it's time to shift things and situations, and you can. So this is still hugely emphasized in 2015. That's not different from 2014, and especially, as I said, the people who have those planets around 14, 15, 16 degrees. Now, this Uranus in your sign also shows that there is changes in relationships, absolutely, and in that way that space is more needed than ever. So if you've got some planets in Aries, it always shows a certain need for individuality, a need for expressing yourself and to assert yourself. And with Uranus in your sign, it's even more than ever. That doesn't mean to say it's my way or the highway, but it can mean that you need to stand up for yourself and take your power back if you have given it away, especially in relationships, but one-to-one relationships, but it can also be a colleague, for instance, that you are in a power struggle with, and that it is all about you trying to be as the integrity is very important as you can, and not falling into those ego conflicts, because that happens a lot with Uranus and especially with Pluto actually. that squares up to your sign, to your sun sign. For instance, if you've got the sun in Aries, Pluto is squaring up to it in Capricorn, and that can give you tension of, you know, you don't want to overwhelm others, you don't want to walk all over other people, but you don't want to be walked all over either. So there is this balance that you're seeking, and that will still be the case in 2015. But so in all key areas of your life, which is your first house, which is your 10th house, still this energy is working itself out. But there is a lighter energy as well. And that is with Jupiter and with Neptune. So Neptune will be in your 12th house, just as last year, which shows that you can benefit from relaxing, from taking time for yourself, and doing that in order for you to reload your batteries. But because don't forget, and especially for Aries, because that's quite a gut energy, you could say. Aries, a physical sign, and that can with Uranus in your sign, it can make you more nervous, and so therefore Neptune in your 12th is a blessing, because that helps you to relax, that helps you to escape a little bit. Hopefully the good things, I mean, escaping, and maybe a bit of music, maybe a bit of relaxing at home, and so on. So, and at the same time, Jupiter will be in your 6th, that's from August. So it has been in your 5th house last year, but also now the first part of January up until August will be in that 5th house, which is fantastic for you, because certainly when you are single, I mean, Jupiter in the 5th is having a good time when you are going out, when you are with friends maybe, or when you are you know, it's good for romance, Jupiter in the 5th. And if you are in relationships, it's maybe children can come along for you, Aries people. And maybe for others it will be creative, new hobbies, maybe more to do with self-expression, with expressing yourself. Maybe go instead of going to the theater, going to a school where you learn theater, because it's in Leo. And so on. So this energy helps you to have fun, and this is, you know, spontaneous fun. This is also very Aries-like. Aries people want to have, you know, they are the most spontaneous sign of the zodiac, and that is its strength as well. They say there is an expression here in my language that says that there is the strength in the naivety. And I think that goes well that is typically Aries. But then the Jupiter shifts into your 6th house as from August. And that means, which is also very nice, because Jupiter is expansive, supportive energy. And that will be work or day-to-day routine. So for those of you who are looking for work, or a work that is more suited to you, or more meaningful work, it could be the case. It could also mean more work, but that you enjoy. It could also mean finding more meaning in those day-to-day things that you need to do. You know, you're preparing your meals, going to school for your kid, bringing your kid to school. I mean, so those routines that you find them more pleasant in some sort of way. Putting together your administration, work that out, make it more efficient. These are all things that you can benefit from hugely, you Aries people. So I mentioned Neptune, mentioned Jupiter, now Saturn. I didn't mention Saturn, and Saturn is shifting into your 9th house. And Saturn is the planet of discipline, is the planet of definition. And the 9th house is actually a bit contradictory to that, because the 9th house is the most expansive house. It's a bit of a communication house, it's a vision house, it's a house of the connection with the divine, with God, if you like. Astrology, philosophy, foreign countries. It is actually the mind that wants to have a vision. That's the 9th house. Now with Saturn there, It's a bit contradictory because Saturn wants to discipline you on that. So maybe you are going to change the way you believe certain things. For instance, if you've always believed in astrology, certainly maybe you can doubt it. Or the other way around, if you've never believed in something like astrology, you start to believe it because you see, you delve into it. That's basically it. You put your focus on a certain belief, and because you do that, you see the reality of that certain belief, of that certain reality tunnel, if you like. So this is very strong as well. This is where your strength is coming from for you Aries people. Your strength is coming from how strongly do you believe or do you not believe in something. And it can go from, it doesn't always have to be religion. It can also be how you believe and how you must educate your child, for instance. Do you believe in a strong hand? Or do you believe in, go with the flow? These kind of things, it doesn't matter what it is, but for everyone it is different because everyone has a certain perspective. But this is also something that is going to change for you. There are some changes in your belief system, and that will bring change later on within 2 years in your career. You could also studying something very seriously. You can benefit from that. So not studying just because of a bit of expansion, I'm going to study a new language just because of no. No, because you've got a certain reason, because you've got a certain goal, then you will benefit from it very likely. There's also an eclipse in your sign, in Aries, at 4 degrees. For those of you who've got planets around 4 degrees of Aries, in September there's a lunar eclipse in your sign. Always shows some kind of a bit emotional because it's in your first house, not necessarily bad. It shows like, look, this is something, this is me, and this is who I am, and this is something that comes more clear to yourself, but also to others. So that's the lunar eclipse, and that's the most important thing. So exciting period for you, especially with Pluto and Uranus still aspecting your sign, but there is also some lighter stuff going on, as I mentioned with the Jupiter and the Neptune. So it's a bit of everything. You're not gonna be bored, I think. And Aries people don't want to be bored, and they always make sure they're not, because you're ruled by Mars, which is action, and Mars is not going retrograde this year, so this is good. It means that you're not going to step back and think and rethink, you're going forwards. Thank you very much for listening, you Aries people, and see you next time. Bye bye, have a good year.